chair yoga today, we're going to be focusing on the earth element. So as we start to get like towards the, I hate to say this, but like the end of summer, but it's really not summer per se. But when you think about summer in as far as nature goes, things are already starting to change a little bit. I mean, August starts Monday, I mean, Saturday this week. So a few days away, we'll be in August. And then usually like by then, August into September, we're sitting in, late summer. And that's the earth element. So earth element brings in the stomach and spleen meridians, which are directly linked to our digestion, but also there's a lot of like grounding energy that happens. So when we move into fall and things start to get like a little bit chillier and there's a shift that happens with the energy too, it's called the winds. And that can also cause a little bit more like anxiety or just feeling unearthed, right? So just maybe too much worry, ruminating on things, that kind of stuff. And what this practice will do is to help ground us so that we don't feel like we're going to be swept away by the winds. So we'll be doing some poses to anchor us to earth and some stuff to really help us with a little bit of our digestive system. So all good stuff, right? So really important today is our feet. So we want to make sure that our feet are planted throughout the practice. So even when we're sitting, we don't want to have our feet just kind of dangling here or just kind of in any position. We really want to be purposeful in feeling the whole bottom of our foot touching the ground. So when we're standing, obviously, but even when we're sitting, you want to have awareness of that. So with feet planted and sit bones anchored to the chair, we're going to rest our hands on our legs and we're going to close the eyes. So we're just going to become aware of our breathing, and you want to breathe in and out of your nose. So as you breathe in, you just want to feel the air coming in through the nose, down through the throat, into your lungs, and then back out again. So our diaphragm is the mover of the air. So it pulls the breath in and it pushes the breath back out again. So it feels almost like a vacuum as the breath comes in, and then there's this energy of that diaphragm pushing that breath up and out. And just notice if your breath feels light, meaning it's not really like a deeper breath. It's up here, it's in the chest. And if it is like more here in the chest, really focus on that, drawing that breath down. So when we're bringing the breath down, the diaphragm's pulling the breath in. So we're completely filling up our lungs with air. And it doesn't have to be like what's called over breathing, where we're taking all that air in like that. That's not a good way to breathe because that also induces anxiety. But you want it to be smooth and relaxing so that it's kind of like, it's not like we're trying too hard. The effort is not like, trying to pull too much air in all at once. So it's slower and more controlled. So a good way to know is to start to count. So it should take about 3, 4, 5 counts to get the air in, and maybe 5, 6, 7 to get it out. So we're going to slow everything down. And if we try to breathe in too quickly, then that doesn't work because then it becomes more of an anxiety type of breathing. So if you're trying to breathe in for 4 counts and you're trying to breathe, pull it in too fast, then that's going to cause you to feel more anxious. So slow it down, maybe counting slower. And just be sure that you're trying to relax all the accessory muscles. So the shoulders should feel relaxed. You should feel like you're using your shoulders to breathe. We shouldn't feel any tension in the throat or any tension in the face or jaw. Your hands should feel relaxed. And let's take about 3 more rounds of breath here. All right, then once you finish that last exhalation, we're going to go ahead and join our palms together, and you're going to bring your thumb knuckles into the chest, so right around the heart. And you'll set your intention for your practice today. So setting around anything that you want to focus on, to staying grounded, feeling supported in your practice, letting go of stress and anxiety, any of those things, all of those things. And then we're going to just release that intention. So you're going to extend the arms out and let that intention flow outwards. Okay, so we're starting out with our feet on the floor, hands on thighs, and we're going to just think about growing taller. So we're going to anchor into the chair, right? So tailbone and sit bones, feel those on there, and sit up nice and tall, relaxing the shoulders. And then we're going to let the arms just hang loose, like down by your side. We're going to let the shoulders shrug up by your ear. So you feel that, right? You feel the shoulders coming up. Doesn't feel great, right? So on your exhalation, we're going to melt the shoulders down. And I want you to feel like your neck is growing taller and the top of your head is reaching upwards and the tailbone and feet are drawing down, almost like you're getting pulled apart. Okay, so we're going to do that again. We're going to shrug up so we feel uncomfortable here. And then we're going to exhale, soften the shoulders, lengthen the spine. And we'll do that 2 more times. Draw them up and soften them down as you exhale. 1 more. Great. So now we're going to add some movement of the spine. So we're going to do flexion extension, and we'll do side flexion like that, and then we'll do rotation. So let's start out with rounding the spine. So we're going to draw the chin to your chest. I want you to round your spine. Just notice what that feels like. And then we're going to go into extension. So we're going to lift the chest, draw the shoulders back, and then we'll exhale round. And inhale to extend. And we're just going to do 1 more each way. And then we'll come back to center where we're sitting neutral. Again, reground those feet, arms down by your side. So side flexion, we're gonna let the arms just dangle today. And we're just gonna take the upper body over. Still stay anchored in your sitting bones and your feet. And then we're gonna straighten up the spine. And then you're gonna go to the other side. And then we're gonna straighten up the spine. And we'll do 2 more sets. So we're gonna do 2 more each side. And then we'll do 1 more each side. And then we're back to sitting tall. Right now we're going to take our arms up. Inhale. Exhale, draw your hands down through the center, palms pressing together. So we're going to have the elbows not drooping down, kind of energized. So if you press your palms together, and then we're going to breathe in, and then on your exhale, we're going to turn to one side, and then you'll inhale, come back to middle, and exhale to the other side. So we're moving the rib cage and the shoulders, and the neck and head is just kind of following along. We're not trying to turn our head any direction. It's just staying right in line with our fingertips. And then we'll come back to center and release those arms down. Now we're going to reach down. We're going to hold on to the bottom of your thigh, and we're going to lift one leg up off the floor. So what we'll do with this one is we're gonna start with ankle circles. So we're gonna move the ankle around. Let's do 5 in each direction, just really getting the foot and ankle moving. And then we're gonna straighten and bend the leg. So you're gonna straighten it as much as you can and then bend it. And then we're gonna take the leg out to the side and draw it back in. And the next time you take your leg out to the side, we're gonna place it down on the floor. And now we're gonna turn and shift our bodies so that basically your belly button is kind of facing to the middle between the knees. So it's like this. We're gonna put our hands on our thighs and we're going to do body waves. So body waves are like your cat and cow, except we're gonna go ahead and lead with the chest. You're gonna move your spine forward, and then in your exhale, you're gonna round and sit back up again. So it'll be inhale and exhale. So this is more like water flowing type of movement. So we tap into different elements. So water element is just more flowing, and I like the energy of water kind of mixed with the energy of earth, which is just more groundedness. We'll do one more. And then we're gonna roll back up. You're gonna pick up this leg, bring it back, turn your torso back. So again, your belly button's kind of between the two legs. Sitting tall, we're gonna inhale, arms high, exhale, hands to heart center. And then we're gonna reach down, grab that other leg, we're gonna lift it up, holding your leg off the floor while we're grounding down with the other leg. We're gonna do those ankle circles again. 5 each way. Then we're gonna straighten and bend the knee. So you can feel your muscles moving underneath where your hands are. Okay, and then we're gonna take the leg out and in a couple times. And the next time you take it out, you're gonna plant the foot down, and then you're gonna shift yourself in your seat. So again, that your navel centers in the center between the two knees. Hands on your thighs, and we're gonna repeat those body weaves again. So we're gonna inhale as you hinge, leading with your chest, and then you're gonna round your spine to roll back up again. Breathing in and breathing out, let it flow naturally. And we'll do one more. And then we'll sit tall. And then you're gonna pick up that leg and bring it all the way back in, place it back in the center, bring it back in seated mountain pose again. Inhale, arms up. And exhale, arms down. And then we're going to separate the legs. So they'll be a bit wider than they were before. And then you're gonna slide forward a little bit closer to the front edge of your chair. So with our legs in this turned out position, we're gonna be focusing on the spleen meridian, which comes from the big toe and goes up through those inner legs and up towards the chest. So when we come forward, we're gonna come into a forward fold position, and you can stop anywhere along the way. So if you wanna be here, you can stay here. You can bring your hands down, you can make your way all the way down to your big toe. And we're gonna hold it in this position. So here's where you really wanna stay anchored into your chair. So you wanna stay heavy in your sit bones. And if you feel like this is too much, then you'll back it up and stay more here with your elbows resting on your thighs. And if you're down closer to the floor, you're just gonna take your fingers and tracing along this inner foot to your ankle bone. So from the big toe, inner foot up to the ankle bone. And then we're going to start tracing up the inner leg to the inner knee. And then from the inner knee, you're going to trace up the inner thigh. And then we're going to end with our hands resting on those hips. We're going to keep our legs wide, and we're going to rest one arm. So you can turn the palm up and just kind of rest your forearm on your thigh, but do not collapse. Push down so you keep this energy going in the side body. And then we're going to take the other arm and reach it over And here's where we're gonna stay. If it's too much to have the arm like this, you could put your hand behind your head, or you can keep it onto your waist. So we're gonna breathe into the side body here. 3 full breaths in and out of the nose. You can choose to look at your palms facing up, or you can look at the palm that's over your head. Again, we're filling up the lungs, relaxed, easeful, not strenuous. On your next exhale, we're going to come all the way up. So you're going to take both arms overhead. Breathe in, and then we're going to exhale, change sides. So again, you're going to rest your forearm, palm facing up, and then the other arm is reaching over your head with the palm facing down. So we have both these energies of the up energy and the down energy. And you can choose to look either up or down. So this is like called heaven and earth. So heaven's here, earth is down here. So you can know I looked up for my other one. Now this I'm looking down, so I'm just changing. And then you're going to use your exhale, coming all the way back up, both arms reaching, and then fingertips almost touching. We're going to exhale slowly, pull that energy down, right? So we're bringing it all the way down to the ground. So push it down, and then bring your hands to your thighs, and then we're going to go heel toe, heel toe, heel toe to bring the feet back in. Before we stand up, let's take a moment, close those eyes, and check in, see how you're feeling. And then open your eyes. We're going to move the feet a little bit before we come up. So let's lift and spread your toes. So you're going to be pressing into your metatarsals, your toe mounds, but all the toes are lifting off the floor. And then I want you to place all the toes down and press them into the floor. And now we're going to elevate the heels. So both heels will be lifting. And try to think about arches moving forward as you do this. So you're really getting that lifting up. And then gently lower your heels. And then just find your big toe and your big toe mound and press into it and see if you can, maybe yes, maybe no, lift the other 4 toes off the floor. And if it doesn't happen, don't worry about it. And now press into your other 4 toes and see if you can just lift your big toes off the floor. And then release the big toes. Okay. A practice, right? So if it didn't happen today, here's something that you can work towards, right? All right, we're going to hinge forward. We're going to put a lot of weight into your heels and into your toes. We're going to take a breath in. On your exhales, we're going to bring the arms forward. We're going to hang out here in chair pose. If you want, you can do your arms crossed. And then we're going to press down through those feet and slowly stand all the way up. And now we're going to walk over to stand beside our chair. We are going to stand behind it, actually, to start out with. So we're going to be doing warrior 1, which is basically the hips are going to be facing towards the chair and our feet will be going, one forward, one back like that. But we're going to start out with kind of grounding through those feet again. So pressing into all of your toes, I want you to lift them up off the floor. We did this when we were sitting, so it's going to feel different. Really pressing into the big toe, all the way through the pinky toe, and lift the toes off the floor. And then place the toes down, and now push across your whole toe box. And then let's lift those heels up as high as you can. We're going to hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly lower the heels down. Hands are going to go in the chair. We're going to take a walk back. So 2 or 3 steps back. Both feet are going to be equal. Arms are straight. Knees are soft. Tailbone is reaching away. We're going to try to keep the spine as straight as possible. Crown of your head is reaching towards the chair. And your breath is coming all the way down into your lower ribs. So you should feel the ribs moving out to the sides. Breathing all the way down into your low back and into your pelvis. Sending the breath down as you inhale. And pushing the breath out with a diaphragm as you exhale. 2 more. And one more. All right, take a look at your feet. We're gonna keep the right foot where it is, and we're gonna step the left one forward. So you're gonna shift your weight to your right foot, step the left foot towards the chair, okay? And you can make your stance smaller if you need to, but I want you to make sure the back heel stays down, and of course the toes, but don't let your heel be off the floor with this one, keep it down, and then the whole foot pressing into the floor. And we're gonna bend this front knee towards the chair and we're gonna straighten it. We're gonna do about 3 of those and just find a position that feels appropriate for your body. And again, if you need to widen your stance or shorten your stance to make it feel comfortable, then go ahead and do that because we're gonna be here, we're gonna be grounded and feeling supported. And if you're feeling off balance, or you can't keep that back heel down, then you want to make that adjustment here so that you feel comfortable, okay? Hips are facing towards the chair, legs are still, front knees bent, back legs straight, and all 4 corners of both feet are pressing into the ground. So we're gonna take those arms up as you inhale. And remember, any amount, it doesn't have to go all the way up like mine are. You can have your arms here, you can have your arms bent, whatever feels good on the shoulders, and we're just gonna breathe. So I want you to be comfortable, but I want you to feel safe and I want you to feel grounded here. So let's just breathe and hold. And notice your body when you're holding this position. If there's any tension, relax the shoulders, soften the face, unclench the jaw. So if we're tensing in the jaw, that tension also goes into our neck and into our shoulders. We don't want that. Breathe. And then on your exhalation, we're going to bring the arms all the way down. We're going to keep the legs still. And you can put your hands up on top of your hip bones. We're going to slowly hinge the body forward. So it's a straight line from the top of your head to your tailbone. We're just hinging. Try to keep your weight in the back foot. So a lot of times when we bring our body weight more forward, there's going to be a little bit more in the front leg, but I don't want you to lose that back leg. So we're going to hinge, come down all the way if you can, maybe towards the chair. And then we're going to push into the feet. You're going to use your exhale to come all the way back up. So that was like a humble warrior. We're going to do that again. I'm going to give you an arm variation if you want to try it. So you can have your hands interlaced behind your back, or you can just rest your hands on your low back this time. So we're going to lead with the heart as we hinge. So your hands can be resting on the low back, or if you want to straighten those arms, you can. Press into the feet, use your exhalation to rise all the way back up again. And then you can release your arms down, place your hands on the chair, and we're gonna step back into that downward facing dog. So now your left foot is gonna join the right foot, and you can walk back again, spine straight, tailbone to crown. Breathing wide into your rib cage, in and out of the nose. Okay, and then look at your feet this time. We're going to be stepping the right foot forward, keeping the left foot where it is. And we're going to keep our hands on the chair to begin. We're going to make sure we're anchored in the back foot, bend and straighten that front knee a couple of times. And then hold it in the bed position. And then again, adjust your stance. So if you need to take it wider or shorter, go ahead and do that. Something you can feel supported, you can feel grounded. Your arms come down by your side as we begin. And then on your inhale, we're going to trace those arms out in front, and then you're going to take them up any amount, stopping when it starts to feel like you're meeting tension in the body. And you can always have the elbows bent. And we're just going to hold it. We're going to breathe in and out of the nose. And find places where you can release tension, that we always don't have to be efforting. The effort should be in the legs and the feet. The softness should be in the face and the shoulders, and the breath should be easeful. All right, exhale, bring your arms all the way down. And we're just gonna do the hinging without the arms first. So keeping the anchored in the back foot, a little bit more weight's gonna be in the front foot, but don't on earth, that back leg is gonna come forward. And then use your exhale, push into your legs and feet to bring your torso back up. And then we'll add the arms. So you can either interlace your hands, keep them straight, or you can bend the elbows and rest them all the way back. Again, spine stays straight. Breathe in, exhale, start to hinge. So this is humble warrior. Really good work in the legs. And then use your exhale, coming all the way back up. Nice and slow. And then once you're all the way up, go ahead and release those arms down. Bring them to the chair. This time, we're going to be stepping that foot forward. We're back to mountain pose, standing just behind your chair, looking forward. Lift and spread your toes. Place them down. Fingers on the chair. Let's lift those heels up again. Up as high as you can. Hold. And slowly take about 3 to 4 counts to lower them back down to earth. And then we're going to turn. So you're standing next to your chair. Take a breath, and then we're going to widen those legs out. So the leg that's closest to the chair, we're just going to turn it out. So your toes should be facing underneath of the chair, and then the other foot's turning in. So we have one heel that's kind of spin out a little bit, and then the other foot's just facing right underneath. And we'll do the same thing. We're going to bend and straighten that front leg, keeping the back leg straight. And then we're going to bend and hold it there. And we're going to anchor into the floor with our legs and feet. And then the arms are going to reach apart, palms facing to the ceiling. And then your gaze is going to be looking forward over your front arm. And then we're going to lift the gaze as we take this arm up. And the back arm reaches towards the earth. So again, we have this heaven and earth. We're reaching up and we're reaching down at the same time. And on your exhale, they're going to go wide. And now we're going to go the other direction. Front arm can be just resting on the chair, and we're going to take the back arm up. So again, you can look up or you can look down. And then we're going to come back to warrior two. So we'll be back in the middle, feel that balance. And then we'll exhale both arms down. Face the chair, step your feet forward. So now we're standing at the back of the chair again. Take a breath in, walk the feet back. Two more breaths here. All right, so we're going to step the opposite foot forward, and I'll be facing backwards. So you'll be just bending and straightening. So we're going to turn in the back foot, and then you're going to bend and straighten. And if you want to turn yourself around so you can see, or you can move your device, you're welcome to do that. But if you want to just try it without looking, see what you can do. So we're just going to go to warrior two first. So that front knee stays bent, back leg is straight. And your shoulders are over top of your hips, arms wide, palms up. Warrior two. Breathing and holding, grounding, feeling supported. And then we'll inhale, right arm reaches up, reversing your warrior. So you're reaching up and down. You can choose to look up, or you could look backwards and down. So just a challenge for your gaze point. And then back to warrior two with your arms wide. And then your front arm touches the chair as the back arm reaches up and over. And again, you can choose to look up or down. Now I'm just doing the opposite of what I did on the other side. I'm just noticing the perspective and how it changes the pose a little bit. depending on where your eye gaze goes. So if you go back to warrior two, instead of looking at the front arm, what if you look back? Does it make you feel different? Do you feel more stable or more wobbly? And then you really anchor into those feet. And then we're going to bring our arms down and we're going to step the back foot forward. So back to where we started in mountain pose. You're anchored to floor. Inhale, both arms up. Exhale, bring your hands down. Push into the chair as you lift your heels. And slowly lower them back down. All right, let's bring our chair back to facing forward. And we're going to walk around in front of it. So you're standing in mountain pose right in front of your chair. And we're going to inhale both arms high. Exhale, hands to heart center. Then we're going to reach our hips back and we're going to hold chair pose again. Anchor into the toes and the heels. And then gently land yourself back into your chair. And we'll be in mountain pose, seated mountain pose. Feel your feet on the floor. Close your eyes and just take a few breaths here and arrive. Notice how you're feeling. And then blink open your eyes. Okay, we're gonna scoot forward a little bit into this chair, and then you're gonna slide one leg forward. So we're going to send our toes forward and back. So we're doing plantar flexion, dorsiflexion, so moving the toes forward, pulling the toes back. And then I want you to pick a spot to stop where you're not doing either one, but you're somewhere in the middle and the toes feel relaxed. And then we're going to sit up nice and tall and we're going to turn the leg bone out and in like this. So the whole leg's moving all the way from the hip. And just let the toes relax. Notice you feel inner thighs, outer thighs. Okay, and then pause in the middle and we're going to hinge forward. We're going to be stretching out the hamstrings. So we're going to start in the middle and come forward just until you feel sensation in the back of the leg. You can have your hands resting on the bent leg or one on the straight, one on the bent, or you can even hold on to your chair, whatever feels good. And then we're going to push into your bent leg foot and come all the way back up. And now we're going to turn the toes out and do the same thing. So we're going to come forward. We're going to feel different sensations more on this inner hamstring. And then you'll use your exhale, pushing into the bent leg foot, come all the way back up. And then we'll do internal rotation and come forward with this one. So each time you're coming forward, just be curious where you meet your sensation. So don't go too fast because you might go too far too fast and then things might not feel as good. And then last breath here. And then we'll come all the way back up. And then we'll take that knee, we're going to bend it, and then we're going to bend down and pick it up again. So we're going to now pull it closely into your chest. I want you to hold it there, squeeze it in as much as you can. And just notice your range of motion. So you might not be able to get up as high as I can, but just do what you can and just hold it there. And I want you to reach down and grab your ankle and see if you could turn the leg to rest it onto that opposite thigh. And again, if it doesn't make it there, you want to use something to sit it on. So if you have a prop handy, you can grab a stool. You can also just like cross it in front of your shin. And then we're going to literally just draw some circles with the bottom of our pelvis. So you're going to feel sit bone, pubic bone. And we're just going to do these circles. So again, we're going into more of this water element, fluid, right? Instead of all the groundedness, just mixing it in. And then we're gonna pause and then we're gonna go the other direction, just circling around. And you might feel some, little stretches in the hip joint. But it should feel nice, it shouldn't feel painful at all. So we never want to move into that pain, we want to stay where it feels comfortable and easeful. All right, and then we're gonna come back to sitting tall and then we're gonna lift that leg off and place it back on the floor. And we're just gonna sit up for a second and just close our eyes and check in. It's always good to kind of check in before we switch sides, and then we will have something to compare to once you switch over, okay? So now we're gonna stretch out this leg, and we're gonna stay sitting tall. We're just gonna do that internal, external rotation again. So remember that whole leg bone is rotating in and out. So you're gonna feel that. And we're gonna flex and point toes down, toes up, and we're gonna find a place in the middle, not flexing, not pointing, and just relax the toes. And then we're going to stretch the middle hamstring first. So hands can be resting on your thighs, the chair, whatever is comfortable, just hinging forward until you meet sensation. Then stay and breathe. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the nose. And then slowly bring your body up, and then we're gonna do toes turned out. This will get more of the inner thigh. So here we go. Coming forward any amount. So noticing if you have more range or less range on the side, or is it the same? So it's not judgment, we're just being curious. And then take your time coming all the way back up, and then we'll turn the toes in and getting this outer thigh here. So again, we're coming forward any amount just until you meet that sensation. Notice where you feel it. Notice if it feels different from the other side. And then go ahead and come all the way back up. And then bend the knee. We're going to reach down, pick it up. Now we're going to try to pull this thigh bone as close as you can towards your rib cage. So whatever amount works for you, don't force it, just see where it goes. Again, we're just being curious. And then release it down just a little bit. It's just enough you can hold on to that outer shin. And then you're just going to guide that ankle over and rest it there. So we'll be in that figure four. And again, prop if you need to. And we're just going to make some circles. So we're just going to let the body go around. You can close your eyes with this one. And just feel the bones of your pelvis on the chair. And just go about 5 times and then reverse those circles. Should feel calming and relaxing on the nervous system. Gentle breaths in and out of your nose. And then when you're finished, pausing in the middle, and then just help your leg off and come back to seated mounted pose. And then open your eyes. We're going to slide all the way back into your chair so you can feel your spine being supported in the back. And then make sure your feet are touching the ground. And we'll take an inhale, arms up. And then as you exhale, just give your arms a little shake out all the way down. And then you can hold on to the chair and just pick up one leg at a time. Just give it a little shake out here. And then do the other one, shake it out. And then we're just going to rest our hands on your lower belly. And we'll close the eyes. So take a nice full breath in through your nose. Feel your belly rising up into your hands. And then exhale, go ahead and sigh this one out. So open your mouth and just create this sound, this audible sigh. And And then relax even more. Soften, let go of any tension, relaxing your face, your jaw, relax the shoulders and the neck. And then continuing to soften down your spine, down your arms and legs, any tension that you find, all the way down to your toes. And then once you get down there, give your toes a little wiggle, let them feel the ground below. And then relax every single toe and the bottoms of your feet. And let your breath slow down, let your mind begin to quiet. Just staying present, feeling the inhales and the exhales, coming into the body, leaving the body. Allow your thoughts to pass through without getting stuck. And we'll slowly start to bring awareness back into your body by wiggling your fingers and your toes. And then you can deepen your breath. And if you want to take a stretch here, you can reach your arms out, you can reach your legs out, and then just give them a little shake out. And then make your way back into your seated mountain pose. Feel your feet on the ground, relaxing shoulders, eyes closed. And then we're going to gather up that intention as you reach your arms out, bring your palms together, bring them into heart space, and just take a moment to acknowledge your practice today, your efforts, anything that came up for you. And then take another moment to thank yourself for being here. And then on your next in-breath, we're going to move the thumb knuckles up to your third eye point, the space between your eyebrows. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste. Thank you guys so much and have a beautiful rest of your week. Thank you.